I was in foster care for 5 years.
I was in foster care all of my teenage years.
I was in foster care for 10 years.
4 years.
From ages 13 to 17.
A little over 10 years.
I was in foster care ever since birth.
I felt that everything was temporary and the love was not genuine. It was just for the moment.
The biggest obstacle I faced when I was in foster care was that it wasn't reliable, and when you woke up in the morning, it wasn't like a real home. There wasn't any support or stability.
I just felt a void. I felt empty, and I felt different than a lot of people my age.
When I was in foster care, what I was missing was connection with someone. And it made me wonder at the end of the day, would anyone care if something happened to me?
Leaving the foster system was like catch-22. I was excited because I can be my own person and build my own identity, but I was nervous because I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know who to call when a problem came up.
Transitioning out of foster care felt like I was being left behind, like I didn't have anybody to count on. I just felt lost.
There were many times when I was at UCSD where I almost dropped out because I was homeless or because, I couldn't afford food, I couldn't afford anything.
When I was aging out of foster care, it was my first year at San Diego State, and it was too stressful, so I actually got academically disqualified my first year. There was just too much going on.
Of course, the people that I had in my life were people that were my age, and they weren't the best influences, so it made it really difficult for me to, keep focused.
No one had talked to me about what the transition would be like or what I would go on to become after I left the system, so it was just a really confusing period for me. I had really no guidance.
If a former foster youth, if they lose their job, they can't simply move back in with their parents until they figure it out. A lot of times they end up homeless, they end up in bad relationships, they end up in jail. They don't have a backup plan.
Those type of people, I think, are vulnerable, and when they feel that there's nobody to help them, they kind of just ball up and do only what they know.
I think that the youth that don't get the chance to come out of survival mode, they tend to take the wrong path, and that it's a path of destruction.
You kind of just want to give up, like you don't, why? Why do it? Because there's nobody there to support you, so if you don't have that support, then there's no reason.
About 300 young people age out of the foster care system each year, and Just in Time mobilizes the community to provide resources and relationships so that these young people are able to be more self-sufficient. Our vision is that we provide a caring community so that each young person has access to an adult that cares about them, to kind of act as an extended family member.
In the past year, Just in Time has serviced over 750 youth between the ages of 18 and 26, and they help bridge the gap between feeling alone and uncertain to included and hopeful.
What's really unique about JIT and fills the biggest gap for our participants are the connections to hundreds of community volunteers, caring adults who become coaches, advisors, and basically family members who believe in them and help them to reach their life goals.
Our motto of combining resources and relationships helps create a lasting impact in the areas of stable housing, essential education and training, meaningful employment, reliable transportation, financial stability, and a sense of well-being and connection.
The youth coordinators definitely stood out to me because they also shared a background like mine.
I'm visually impaired, I'm legally blind, and at age 24, I needed resources. I needed a foundation, I needed a support group, and Just in Time was that support group.
We've had young people that have been able to have access to jobs, to better living situations, to transportation, because our volunteers are so amazing.
Carol Bronson was my coach with Career Horizons, and as a coach, she was supposed to just encourage me to find my career and She actually did more than that. She invited me to have dinner with her daughter, and she accepted me into her family as another daughter, and it made me feel like I had value. Being a daughter to me feels like I have someone that I can look up to. Like there's always gonna be someone there who cares about me. And
the single most important thing that Just in Time has been able to provide me with is a family. I mean, I know it's in their mission statement, but it's actually true.
Stability, knowing that if there's trouble that I might be facing with my future, that I have a group of individuals that I can look to for advice, resources, opportunities.
Just in Time makes sure that our identity is strong and that we're confident and that we are connected with people who do care about us.
To me, the biggest thing that I see in our participants is hope, resilience. They're so strong and they have big goals, they have big dreams, and they're working towards those. It's beautiful because we're beating the odds.
My major right now is social work, so I want to affect policies in the foster youth system. So I'm going to grad school for public policy.
I am a graduate from San Diego State University with a Bachelor in Applied Arts and Sciences, Public Administration, cum laude.
I'm creating a nonprofit organization that services the blind and visually impaired.
I am equipped to face the world and cause worldwide change.
I am unstoppable.
I am finally a daughter.
I am
Just in Time.
Just in Time for foster youth.
And we're breaking the cycle.
Awesome. Okay.